Hey, good morning, everyone. My name's Colin Calvert, and this really is just a intro to my senior project. And if you are watching this, actually, you are currently in the middle of Chapel or the beginning of it, and you're actually in the middle of my senior project week. And what I'm doing is I'm raising awareness for suicide prevention, pretty much, or it's just a suicide awareness in general. And what I'm doing is I have started a T-shirt type of fundraiser to where pretty much y'all, as a student body, have ordered lots of t-shirts, which I am so grateful for, by the way. And all the proceeds that have come off that are being donated to a mental health center in Greenville, which is quite, as most of you know, quite local to here. And once again, just want to thank you all so much for your participation in this. That goes out students and staff. And with that, I also just wanted to talk a little bit about why and what I'm doing. And so, as I mentioned before, I'm doing the t-shirts, but beyond that, I want to go into the point. So pretty much why I did this was because for a while now, ever since about middle school-ish, me and a few of my very close friends have suffered from depression. And this isn't me, but a few of my friends have suffered from, suicidal thoughts and come close to committing suicide. And that, to me, is a pretty big deal because, coming from people that are really close to you and people that you love, it's hard to see people go through that. And I'm sure a lot of you have people like that in your lives. And that's what we're doing right now. We're raising awareness for this. And that is whenever Miss Hare will come in and she will explain, of course, how to prevent these things and what to do in these certain situations. So once again, thank you so much for your participation in this. And I'm going to hand the floor over to her.
Okay, thanks, Colin.
Of course.
So, as you all might be aware, suicide is something that is hard to talk about. It is an emotional thing, and a lot of times we think we don't need to talk about it because if we don't talk about it, then it won't be a problem or people won't think about it, that kind of thing. But that's not true. It's a common myth that people think, and it's something that we have to really work hard to break. We do need to talk about suicide, and we do need to bring awareness to it. So, we're going to share a suicide hotline with you today, and we're going to show a video with you today to just bring some awareness to this topic. But I want to share a few things because I'm your main resource here at school for things that are related to suicide, whether it be you experiencing suicidal thoughts, someone you know, or just questions that you may have about it. So if you ever come into contact with someone who has suicidal thoughts, what should you do? First of all, you should just genuinely ask them, how are they doing? What's going on? What's happening in their life? And then make sure you listen. Don't just ask that question and think, oh, I did my job. I asked the question. Ask the question and genuinely listen to what's going on in your friend's life or a relative or anything like that. And then once you've listened and you've been there with them, if you think that they're really serious and they're really saying to you that they have suicidal thoughts or they're wanting to hurt themselves or anything along that nature, then don't leave them. Call an adult, call the suicide hotline, something like that. Come see me if you're here at school. Bring them with you to me here at school. Because the important part is when you know about it, like Colin said before, if he's had friends that have had suicidal thoughts before, they're willing to tell you, then they need help right then and there. So that's where I come in. If you're not at school, you contact an adult right away, and that adult can help you figure out what you need to do next. So I want to talk a little bit about like how you actually ask someone if they're feeling like they want to hurt themselves, which is kind of simple. You can say it like that, like, hey, are you okay right now? Like, do you feel safe or do you feel like you're going to hurt yourself? So genuinely ask them, like I said, how are they doing? Colin, how are you doing today? That kind of thing. Sometimes we ask that question and we say, how are you? And we don't really want the answer, or we want it, but we just aren't really taking the time to listen. So that's where the next part comes in. To really listen to someone is to focus your attention. Don't be on your phone. Don't be talking to other people. Really focus your attention on them and talk to them about how they're doing. And then care for them, which is part of being there with them and not leaving them once they've told you something like that. And then the last part is embracing them. So I have a little acronym to help remember this. It's called ACE. So the first part was ask, the second part was care. And then the last part is embrace. And embracing them just means they told you a really big thing. That's a really big deal to admit that they are hurting and that they need help and that they're thinking about hurting themselves. So embracing them means that you don't just leave them to the wind, even after you've gotten them help, even after you've brought them here to me. Because the likelihood is you're going to bring them here to me. We're going to talk for a few seconds maybe with you in the room, but then I'm going to let you go so I can talk to them privately. And so whatever happens with them after that, you're embracing them means that you also still check on them and still show them that you care and use that, be a judgment-free zone for them so that they can still talk about their struggles and still just lean into you as a friend. And I think this looks a little bit different for every age group. Obviously, for our middle school friends, I want you to find an adult right away. Take that friend right away to a teacher that you're with. Find an adult. Tell your parents if you're talking to them online immediately. For our high school friends, I think you guys talk a little bit more and you're there for each other in different ways because you're probably spending a little bit more time in person maybe than middle school, but either way for you, talk a little bit more, let them know you're there for them, but still tell an adult like me here at school or a teacher or a parent at home, or you can even call 911. That's really a good option as well. Anytime in doubt, if you're really worried about something, calling 911 is not a bad idea because they can go and check on them, and that will be good. So, Colin, what would you say you could do, like, in your experience when a friend has asked you or has admitted that they're having suicidal thoughts? What kind of things would you just say to them?
Personally, I would say go to an expert. Don't try and talk them out of things or talk to them just in general, because you might make it worse. You might think you're making it better, but you could be making it worse. Go to the people that know what they're doing. Okay, go to the experts, because those are the people that can actually help them, and in the end, more than likely, will make it better. Don't try and solve this yourself, okay? You're not in this alone, all right? There are many, many people out there struggling with this, okay? And trust me, lots of people have people that are going through this, all right? Get the experts. They know what they're doing, all right? Trust me on this.
Colin is exactly right. Don't try to solve the problem for them or try to take it away or tell them not to feel the way they're feeling. Just say, hey, I'm here with you and I can help you find some help. And like I said, that's me here at school, another teacher who will also come to me, and then a parent at home, or, worst case scenario, it's an emergency and you need to call 911. So finally, I'd like to just say, I don't want you guys to just all the time be asking your friends if you want to hurt yourself, but or if they want to hurt themselves. But I do think it's important, to know the signs. So if someone has typically been hanging out with you and all of a sudden they're really withdrawn and they look and feel sad, or you think they feel sad a lot, they're just not doing the normal things that they do, and you are concerned about them, it is okay to ask somebody how they're doing. I wouldn't come out and say, do you feel like hurting yourself right away? Yes. But you can say things like, how are you doing?
Baby steps.
Yes, baby steps. I feel worried and I just wanted to check on you. Yes. And that's a genuine way to ask your friends if they're doing, because the reality is not everyone is having suicidal thoughts. But like Colin said earlier, sometimes people are just feeling down, and it's important to just check on them and see how they're doing. So we really appreciate you guys listening today, and we are going to show you a video along with our video just to talk a little bit more about this. And if you have any questions or concerns, please talk to your teachers and they'll send you my way.
Thanks, guys.